And now, Tim Dillon is going to hell with Tim Dillon and Ray Gump.
Welcome to Tim Dillon's Going to Hell, everybody. My name is Tim Dillon. Ray Gump is out this week. He is at a family thing in Long Island. I don't know what that means.
Is that what he said?
He was, deliberately vague.
It's a family thing.
It's a family thing. So he's doing something out there.
What does his family look like?
Well, so his family's interesting. So he's got a mom and a dad. They're big people. He's a big man. And he's got a brother who's like a normal-looking brother. Yeah. And his brother's got a girlfriend. But, they go out to, German restaurants, like Zum Stammtisch in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
And Ray, his dad's an accountant, and Ray and his dad fight about economics.
Yeah.
And Ray will be like, "There's a Federal Reserve." And the mother will have to step in and be like, "Boys, stop. It's Christmas." She'll be like, "Everybody, come on. Relax." She's a sweet woman. She makes brownies and really good brownies.
Yeah.
They're nice people. Long Island.
I wonder what they think of Ray, because he's not a failure per se.
No.
But he's got the aesthetics of a failure.
Well, what's interesting about him is that he's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
If you get past
the words coming out of his mouth.
Right, which is hard.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that they know that, but I'm sure that there's frustrations they have with him.
He is as close as you could get to a real life Forrest Gump.
He is somebody who he's a character. He's like a guy that John C. Reilly would play in a movie. But then you see John C. Reilly and he's like, "Oh, you have a band," and it's it's sad in another way, but it's like, "Oh, you're not at all the character." Yeah. Ray is Ray's the guy you make a movie about.
Right. Yeah. Forrest Gump.
Right.
That would be the movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever read the book?
Forrest Gump? No.
It is. I mean, I've only read the first page, but it's insane because the book is much different than the film.
Is it really?
Very much so. And when they optioned the book, it had been it only had sold maybe I think 20,000 copies or something. This wasn't a wildly successful book.
When was it?
1987.
Okay.
And so
the movie didn't come out for a decade.
Yeah, in the book he fucks all the time and he's jacked or whatever.
Oh wow.
He's retarded, and the opening paragraph is I don't like the term retard, because when people say retard, it makes them think of one of them Down syndrome mongoloid type of retards looking Chinese and shit with the eyes too close together, drooling and sucking on their own dick.
If that is the first line, this is the best book that's ever been written.
It's very similar to that.
Okay.
In fact, I mean, Shannon's not here, but
one's here. Yeah.
I would pull it up.
That's amazing. How can I get it? I have a phone. We have phones.
Yeah, just go to Google Books, Forrest Gump, and it should be the first result. And you should be able to get the first page.
How do you stumble upon the book? Were you just
Somebody
curious?
sent it to me.
Okay.
I used to be able to find my own shit, but now because of this show, I just said there's people out there that find, which honestly feels worse than having writers or joke theft. Is not discovering things on my own.
People just sending you knowledge.
People sending me stuff to talk about, and it's there's this new guy I'm obsessed with on Instagram that somebody else sent me, and it's if I had found them on my own,
it would have been great.
It would have been great, but somebody.
It's you're discovering it. I have here. Go to Google. I have the book up.
Yeah.
You probably go to Pages or something.
Book in print. Get the book in print by ebook. View sample.
This is great.
Yeah. Forrest Gump, Winston Groom.
I love the idea of somebody finding it and going, "This needs to be a movie."
Yeah, that's what you know. Some coked out fucking retard agent. In the 1980s, being this is a heartwarming, and then it turned into the movie Forrest Gump, which is, this is it. This is my favorite. The first line is, "Let me say this: being an idiot is no box of chocolates," which is not the line in the movie. They say life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah. Oh wow, they really made that a Disney-fied version.
The first sentence of being a retard is sort of like fucking a box of chocolates.
Why can't you fuck chocolate?
Yeah, right. It would be like if Star Wars were a novel before the movies.
Right.
And Yoda's there's being a faggot and being straight, and this is the light and dark side of the universe. People laugh, lose patience, treat you shabby. Now, they say folks are supposed to be kind to the afflicted, but let me tell you, it ain't always that way. Even so, I got no complaints, because I reckon I done live a pretty interesting life, so to speak. And here's where it gets good. I've been an idiot since I was born. My IQ is near 70, which qualifies me, so they say. Probably, though, I'm closer to being an imbecile or maybe even a moron, but personally, I'd rather think of myself like a half-wit or something and not no idiot, because when people think of an idiot, more than likely, they be thinking of one of them Mongolian idiots, the ones with their eyes too close together would look like Chinamen and drool a lot and play with themselves. Now, I'm slow, I'll grant you that, but I'm probably a lot brighter than folks think, and it's just...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then they turned it into Forrest
Gump.
Right.
Just a heroic.
Right.
That's, I wanted to see the book movie.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see the real movie.
Uh-huh.
Why hasn't, did you like that book, Confederacy of Dunces? I feel like you're a guy that's.
I've never read it. And
I feel like you'd be a guy that's like,
I've never read it, and I'll tell you why I never read it, because I'm of the opinion that no book is funny, which is true.
Okay.
There's not a single...
I laughed, but I mean, it's like Twitter. Nobody's funny on Twitter.
Well,
I say that, people get angry with me, but I said, you're not laughing.
Yeah.
You go, okay.
I mean, I read Jack Handy's book, and Jack Handy's hilarious, and it's like, I mean, I appreciate it because it's Jack Handy, but I mean, it's impossible to make a fucking book funny.
Yeah, right.
And I guess, when I was like reading all the shit you're supposed to read in late teens or whatever, I read Catch-22, which everybody says is, hilarious. And it's like, it's unfucking readable. It's so boring.
Yeah.
It's not funny. And so after that, anytime anybody's like, oh, Confederate Dunces, you got to read that. That's hilarious.
It's worthwhile read.
Yeah.
It's not, listen, I agree with you to the extent that, like, it's as funny as a book will ever be.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, not to speak ill of the dead. And he had a really interesting show, but everyone always said to me, like, Bourdain show's hilarious. I never found it hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never found it hilarious, but I never watched a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I never found, was it laugh out loud funny? I don't know. I could have been.
That's the other thing, too, is I guess you as a comedian, you're sort of tainted. And
maybe I am. I think I'm ruined.
Nothing is...
When you commodify an essential part of your personality, it's fucking over.
Nothing is fucking
Nothing's
funny.
good.
I talk to regular people, and they'll say something.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it just registers as a joke, and you just go, right.
You stab them in the neck.
Yeah. No, I forget that I'm supposed to give people, like, some sort of, like visceral or like limbic feedback,
like justification, like you're right. Oh, that's funny. You're right.
Right. Yeah. It sounds like people running things past me.
Right. Yeah. What do you think?
Right. Exactly.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
But I tried to watch a Bourdain show. It was he's a really smart guy and whatever, good guy from what people that know him.
Yeah.
But it was very like serious and self-important. It was kind of like, this is really important, and some of it was probably.
I mean,
but it wasn't funny because I already disconnect there. Like, it's not funny to me.
Yeah.
When you're trying to solve whatever, the water crisis, and but I mean, he also never stepped out of his, like, he never kind of like pulled back the fourth wall and was like, he would be in Turkey and he'd be sitting with a family and they're like, we haven't seen our daughter for 2 days, and then he'd start talking about hummus. Yeah. And it would be like, at a certain point, I'd want him to look at the camera and go, I know this seems ludicrous,
right,
but we got to talk about olives now.
Yeah.
Like, did that never happen?
I had never actually watched the show. He followed me on Twitter, and that's the reason I think he's a good guy. And
he is a good guy.
That's really
as Harry Kondabolu said, we lost a hero.
Yeah.
He was a great white guy.
Yeah.
We lost a hero.
I mean, his death has quickly turned into, like,
it's insane.
Well, it's like a way for all these people to feel remorse about. I mean, what like Anthony Bourdain was, not him, but like
the idea
consuming Anthony Bourdain is for like people that think like going on vacation and having dessert is subversive behavior.
Well, this is what I mean. I mean, we're not learning about the world through grape leaves.
Right.
Like
exactly.
the idea that we are is crazy.
Yeah.
That's why like
a friend of mine. They posted. They're like, you shattered the status quo or whatever. It's like, no, he's living the exact life that you as a middle or upper middle class person should be, which is like eating fancy things and going on vacation.
And one thing about him which was cool is that he cared about the cuisine of poor people, but everyone does.
Sure.
Everyone kind of likes burritos.
Yeah.
They just don't like the people who make and eat burritos.
I just don't like that everything now is interpreted as a revolutionary act when it's like,
right.
I mean, you really want to. here's like in terms of food, guys, that really you want to really rattle some feathers.
Yeah.
You turn yourself into a bloated pay pig that humiliates themselves with giant pants on TV for 15 years.
You do mukbangs,
and then you force that
things
company.
Where you just eat that. Yeah.
Well, no, you eat Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
You become Subway Jared, and then become this cultural laughing stock.
And
really,
then,
you destroy whatever makes you human.
Yeah.
And then you make that company waste money protecting and hiding an active pedophile.
Right, and then
permanently destroy their brand from the inside, like an Agent Smith would.
Yeah, that's subversive.
That's subversive.
That would have impressed me.
That is a revolutionary act.
That, if Jared from Subway dies, I want people on Twitter going,
"There's
we lost a hero."
I want Lin-Manuel Miranda posting, tie one string.
Yeah. What is that? What was that? That was creepy.
He's like such a fucking retard.
This
It's
is
also like
strange.
You know what people should do? They should en masse message Lin-Manuel Miranda. If you are going to kill yourself, please find a way to contact him and see how quickly he's dismissive.
It's also
of you.
like
if he even acknowledges
if he even acknowledges you.
Because there's no other way to see that as like you're making this about yourself.
There was something so weird about the way he tweeted. He was like, tie one. He was like, it was about like hanging because Bourdain hung himself with a belt.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's like, tie one. I'm like, wait, whose idea?
Yeah. He's like, put your friend's heart in your mouth and pull the trigger.
Right. Load a gun with love.
Yeah.
It's like, buddy, this is not good.
Why don't you take a bunch of friendship pills
and all these
lay
people,
down.
all these people on Twitter that every day are like, cancel. You're canceled. Well, what does that mean? You cancel people all day.
Yeah.
And then the next day you go, hey, anyone who feels bad, anyone needs to reach out.
Right.
I'm here.
Uh-huh.
What about all those people you just said were not people?
Yeah.
Because they disagreed with you.
Yeah.
You invalidated their existence.
I don't know. No one really experiences real empathy. Nobody has any like consistent beliefs.
No.
I mean, more so than ever. It's like, because I remember it felt like during like the Obama administration, like things kind of felt too exploded. There wasn't, I mean, as like shitty as it is, but distilling like all ideology into left-right dichotomy or whatever. There's Republicans and Democrats, and you let the chips fall where they may, and you're on one side or the other, and that's just, it. And I know that's like an oversimplification. And
no,
mostly
that's
just like
largely
a projection of my own like complacency, I guess, during the time. But I feel like now just maybe it's because of like identity or whatever. Everybody has their own tiny little camps with like 5 people in it,
right? And
then there's just no. It's like if you behave like this, you're bad, and then 5 minutes later,
something happened,
and justify it based on like my own.
Yeah,
I like the Trump pardoning this. Did you say Alice Johnson?
Yeah, Kim Kardashian went to the White House.
And Vox had a headline that was. Trump pardoning Alice Johnson is good. The reason he did it is bad. And it's like, just try a couple more times.
Right. Yeah.
Figure out a better way.
Don't spitball.
Don't sound like a toddler having a temper tantrum and like not even be. Because it's like, let's not pretend like they're like, oh, well, he's just pandering to not seem racist. It's like you absolutely know as an adult that every politician panders.
Right.
You know that.
Right.
It's a game of trying to get people to pander the right way.
Yeah.
So why now is it a fucking issue when the pandering actually helps somebody?
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Who cares? Hillary Clinton pays fucking limp dick lip service to the gay community 35 years too late and say maybe they should be able to give each other AIDS.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, whoa, a hero or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think when Trump got elected, it broke in there are people out there, I think Hollywood's a good example of this, who when he was elected, it really did seem something broke. There was some mental break. There was something happened.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Where it feels like we're not processing events with logic anymore. And the suggestion that we might is problematic. Like the idea that I might be like, hey, let's think logically, because I have mental illness in my family. I'm like very much aware of how mentally ill people behave. They start yelling and frothing at the mouth. That's what I am on stage. You could kind of see. It's there, and it's almost like to suggest that somebody like sit down, let's think about this, let's go through this logically, is an attack on somebody. Now.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it happen with comedians. The election happened, and then, like fucking like Brandon Wardell posting this like dumb bullshit about like this is because of irony. Irony did this, and he's like, I feel partially responsible for doing Irony or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's odd.
First of all, shut up, Brandon.
Right.
You know,
right.
But like the
he's like a fine little kid, but it's like
no, I mean the fact
but he's
that,
a kid. He's
that
trying
this
to
event can like shake the core of somebody as irreverent as Brandon Wardell, whose entire thing is like being a shitty DJ.
Yeah, you're a SoundCloud rapper, whatever it is.
Right, exactly. And you think you need to be serious.
Yeah, we want that from you.
Right.
We want you to start talking about trade.
Well, you want that from yourself.
Right.
And I mean, I'm shitting on Brandon, but I mean, there's like a million examples of people that after the election that got. And you know what? I mean, I can think back. There's like times where that's happened to me in comedy, where it's like this is like gone too far. Sandy Hook kind of did that to me.
Right.
I had a week where it was like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
But yeah, with Trump, that was like.
Somebody said when
literally
I was out there,
every single comedian in Los Angeles.
I was out there in L.A. and somebody said when Tina Fey did Sarah Palin, that was actually a big deal thing because people felt and this was actually a smart person. I was having dinner and they said people saw that bad coffee.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh my god,
they don't sponsor us anymore, so we can be real honest. Yeah, I mean it's not good coffee.
That's
sorry.
Some of the fucking worst coffee.
Yeah, I mean you don't see me. I mean I like coffee too, but I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
But like somebody said when Tina Fey did Sarah Palin, people were like, "Oh, this worked."
Yeah.
Because she did it so well. She used her own words. And people started to believe that, like, Hollywood had this larger role to play.
Yeah.
You know, that it wasn't just, hey, let's give a speech at an award show.
Yeah.
It was like, let's fucking really...
But Hollywood's been that way, and they've always been fucking impotent.
Yeah.
I mean, they've never done anything.
Because they're in the beast. They're in the system. I mean, you go out there, you go to these beautiful areas. They're living in 10,000 square foot homes. They've got, oodles of money. I mean, this is... they work for these large corporations. I mean, there is no out. There's no getting out.
Yeah.
Unless you do what you've done or what other people have done where you're like, I bring content directly to people.
Well, even criticisms of like, I don't know, limousine liberals or whatever that you want to lob at Hollywood. I mean, like they're just not effective at changing people's minds about things.
Right.
I mean, look at all their fucking like campaign. Like the death penalty was huge in the 1990s.
Yeah.
They were. It was like all these celebrities that were obsessed with ending the death penalty. And I don't think that did anything.
Right.
I mean,
why do you think that is? Why do you think people? Is it because of somewhat like
anti-smoking was a big thing too?
Why do you think people don't get on board with them? I tend to think it's because people tend to have an aversion to it as a concept. Like I think they know that it's all pretend and that their lives don't mirror our lives in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
And it feels patronizing when people like that tell you to do something or tell you to live a certain way.
That's probably exactly it.
Yeah.
I mean, even as like a child, it felt like ridiculous to listen to, some millionaire celebrity say this is how the world works. I mean, by definition, you're completely out of touch.
There was something I liked about Rush Limbaugh, and I'll tell you why, because he was a fat, bloated capitalist pig who sat in a studio where the golden microphone, and he was in I think he was in this mansion in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And it was like, if this guy's pretending to be a good person, he's failing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was something nice about the idea that like, oh, this is from the mouth of what you think it's from.
Yeah.
Like, there's no Rush Limbaugh wasn't like we're doing a cancer walk on Tuesday. You know what I mean? He was like, he kind of leaned in.
Yeah.
And there was something kind of whether you hate him or not, but there doesn't seem to be too many people doing that. Like it seems to be. Do you think you'll get to a point where, Cumtown is a great example of like, you guys do what you want. It's very funny. It's hugely successful. Is that the era now of just more and more Cumtowns, more and more independent things?
I don't know. I mean, Cumtown's pretty simple. It doesn't really speak to anything. I mean, like, not that there's any kind of like creative direction I ever felt like I wanted to go with the show, but I do remember when the show started, like, a couple years ago with like comedy, I was trying to, and I don't know, maybe just like manifested with the podcast, but I would like think back to like, how hard I laughed with my friends when I was like 12 over like dumb bullshit.
That's when comedy starts.
That's like really all you should be trying to do
for most people. But for now, it starts when you're at like Yale and you're sitting in a classroom and you're like
Princeton.
I'm somewhat bored of advanced math.
Yeah.
But if I could think my way into another position, that will allow me to be famous.
Yeah, I guess opinions first and bitching about not getting opportunities or whatever.
But when Cumtown started, it was...
Well, I'm saying, I don't know how relevant the show is. It's like a break from maybe like this conversation at large.
I think the model's relevant.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not the model in terms of what, an independent platform, and then you go through Patreon or whatever.
I think that's part of it, but also the idea
there's
that
definitely money
you don't
to be
have
made.
Advertisers, you don't have sales, you don't have standards and practices.
We have advertisers.
You have ads.
I mean,
but
they
it's
can
like,
feel free to drop the ads if they want.
There's nothing between you and your audience, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even for every special, everything you do on Comedy Central is like, here's a list of jokes, and then you're gonna come back. I mean, Comedy Central told me they're like, we don't want to call Richard Spencer a white supremacist. I have a joke about Richard Spencer. I'm like, they're like, can you call him a white nationalist? I'm like, no. Like, no.
Why don't they want to call him a white supremacist?
Because he calls himself a white nationalist. They don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid. We live in this litigious society. So I'm like, no, because then I'm dignifying what he wants to call himself.
Yeah.
No. There's no such thing as a white nationalist. This, like, out of nowhere, like he this is the nicest way to describe what he is. No, he believes in an ethno-state for white people because other people are inferior.
Yeah.
And some people are superior. They'll tell you that. The alt-right will be like, well, Jews and Asians we can't compete with them.
Yeah.
And we don't want to carry blacks and Hispanics. So that's why they have this white ethno-state. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to call them that. But they're all like, hey, sure, everyone's afraid of getting sued, but you guys, it's like you have the power to just say, hey, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously anybody can be fucking sued for, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
We here at Gas Digital have a legal team. Luis Gomez handles everything.
Yeah.
We're very confident in our ability to respond.
It's funny, some people just don't worry about it. Like Ari just
he doesn't care.
Ari just doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't care.
He'll just like use copyrighted content on his show. I asked him about it one time. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, you just open every show with like, just playing unlicensed music.
Right. He doesn't care.
Yeah, and then you make a profit off it. And
right.
he's like, yeah, they'll take it down, but then I just put it back up.
There's something nice about his life.
Yeah.
It's like no wife, no kids. I mean, there's something also kind of weird about it, or whatever. Some people would say, I guess there's a sadness to everybody's life.
Yeah.
But the idea of like he can just disappear for 4 months, he can go live in a temple in Tibet.
Yeah.
Yeah, sue me. He's like, sue me. I'm in Myanmar in a cave.
Yeah.
Good luck,
Yeah, no, he's got a sweet setup. I mean, I would like to. I guess we're not too far off.
Yeah, he's that's good for creativity.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ari's a good guy to look at, man. He really has it figured out.
He's a great example of a model that worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was around for a while.
Yeah.
Before things like, I guess, got to the point they are now.
And he always did his own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and he's very funny, and he's got his fan base.
That's the thing too, though, is I know guys that like quote unquote did their own thing when I was like coming up, and like they're like, yeah, fuck the clubs or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, you do need some kind of validation from the system.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I can do my own, I can just continue to do Cumtown or whatever, but it's like, it would feel nice to have some sort of like recognition to know that I could write something that would have some kind of like mass appeal, or at least like work, on television, not just have
it's just like once
an irreverent podcast,
you do Cumtown and it's successful. Once you make one thing successful, you want to do other things.
Well, that's really the only thing. Like I feel like people could need out of like the industry is just that validation.
Sure.
Which I guess the goal should be to like strip yourself of that.
Well, it's also you got to work, and it's still kind of tough to crowd fund a movie, a TV show, a pilot.
Yeah,
these are things that are kind of tough.
Yeah.
So I think you got to play their game to an extent. Speaking of which, I don't know if I should talk about it, but I will. Bourdain's production company was a production company I was using for a project.
Yeah.
Which is always shitty when somebody texts you was like, "Oh, hey, Bourdain committed suicide. Hope the show's okay." And
which one? The scripted one or the
unscripted ones? But I just think it's hilarious. By the way, I don't think they'll be able to do it anymore. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of sad. It's funny to me, the idea that they have to go from this guy who was like this really high-minded guy, really influential, to like me.
Yeah.
Like that's such a sad like they're just going to be I'm going to be like, hey, what if I hit Ray Kump in the head with a bottle? They're going to be like, Tony tried to solve Mideast peace, They're just crying. They're like, Tony was a great man, you fat buffoon.
I think they should give Parts Unknown to Mario Batali.
He should.
That's a solution.
He's another great chef.
Yeah.
That would have been a great fucking memorial. Be like, Bourdain, we still have Batali.
Yeah.
We still have him. But I'm worried. I feel bad that I want a production company, people that are in tears.
It's so,
watching their lives disintegrate because they have to work with me.
It's so funny that there's such a thing as a celebrity chef now.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't exist 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like Julia Childs and that's it.
It was the beginning. Yeah, the Galloping Gourmet. I think Emeril really cemented the celebrity chef.
Yeah.
The idea of like somebody tuning in every night to watch a guy go, bam.
Yeah.
That was a huge show. Emeril Live is a big show.
Because obviously, I mean, it takes some degree of craftsmanship to make things that taste good. But like, not any more so than any other sort of specialized trade.
Right. No. But it's more interesting to watch, and everybody eats.
It'd be like if there was
like
a celebrity like Finnish carpenters.
Right, but nobody.
Guys that make cabinetry.
That's a small group of people that like appreciate what goes. My grandfather was a carpenter, so he would love that. He watched This Old House.
Yeah.
But that's like but everybody shoves shit in their mouth.
That's true.
So to see like some guy doing
well, it's not celebrity like, gastroenterologist.
Oh, there will be. I mean, there's enough of those doctor shows now. Well, because stomachs are gross.
Yeah.
People love watching people get new faces. I mean, there's celebrity tuna fishermen.
Are there?
Well, it's deadly as catch. I mean, they're getting snow crab, king crab. Sorry.
Yeah.
And celebrity chefs only hurts eating because because what happens is these guys who are really good chefs. What happens is they blow up, and then investors come to them and go, "Hey, how about how many restaurants you own now?" They're like 2. They're like, "What about 16 restaurants in Vegas?"
We're going to put you in charge of the Hard Rock Cafe. We're not changing the menu at all.
Yeah.
We just want,
We're franchising your name, and we're going to put it on Wawa's. And basically, it's but that's where they are. Like, they'll literally approach them and be like, "Hey, we want to put like a new product. Can we put a Wolfgang?"
Does Bourdain have restaurants?
No. Well, Bourdain had one, Les Hales, and the financial did. Wasn't great.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a great chef.
Yeah, he just ate things.
I think he was just a guy that went around and was like, I think he was a white guy that was he was like visibly fine with other cultures.
Yeah.
So people like that. It's like, oh, he's eating a soup with this guy and he's not, throwing up or trying to colonize him.
Yeah.
Isn't this nice?
Yeah.
And it's also just like most people have a very low opinion of just because it's just like the idea that like a guy like him, like he went around the world, they were like, he loved other cultures. And it's like, well, he went.
Yeah. People also just like somebody to turn their life around.
Right. Of course. It's like, he thought they were interesting. I would think it's interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody would go to another place and be like, oh, fuck these people. I want to be home.
That would be
a fucking In-N-Out burger.
A hilarious show.
That would be that's the one I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do the show where I go to places and tell you, no, then fuck you.
Parts untouchable.
Yeah.
Just go to fucking
You just go
Delhi.
to different restaurants.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Chastise them because they don't have buzzers that they hand out
Russian
to people.
dressing. It's ketchup and mayonnaise. Where the fuck is that?
Where are the disco fries? Yeah. You fucking... No, but that's the thing is like everybody was like, oh, he's a hero.
I'm here in Mogadishu using the N-word at a restaurant.
Yeah, just like a guy like him sitting there and just in this really and go, how is this place open?
Yeah.
How are you people even alive?
That would be a great show.
That would be funny, but funny is we can't do it anymore. It would
nobody knows what I mean. It's like how fucking
that would be hilarious. I would never stop laughing at that show.
Yeah, as all I have so many friends that are professional comedians that can so easily be very funny.
Right.
Just say funny things.
Yeah,
That's why we're in this business. And then they get a TV show and they're like, what if we did the opposite?
Right.
What if we tried to be smart?
Yeah, now it's a treatise on...
Yeah.
But the idea of a chef damaging our diplomatic relationships because he's so aggressive is maybe with American food, which largely is garbage food. I mean, outside of New Orleans and New York and a few enclaves, it's pretty much garbage.
Yeah.
Even the venerable barbecues, kind of whatever, you know. I mean, it's
I don't know. I fuck with barbecue.
Well, okay, but I mean, it feels like you're eating a log, you're burping up wood.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really compare it if you go to Rome or France or anything like that.
Okay.
But I mean, the idea of like that guy going around and just insulting people to their face, causing riots.
Yeah,
that's the move. That's the show.
The dinner pig.
That's the show. Yeah. The dinner pig. Do you want your culture respected? Look elsewhere.
Worldwide dinner pig. He just drives up like he's like, we're here in Beijing, and he's got a monster truck, monster truck ice cream truck.
We're here in Beijing.
Yeah.
Or Shanghai.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Eating eggs boiled in boy's piss. And he's like, what is
After every restaurant, he just goes to McDonald's and critiques the McDonald's items that are on the Chinese menu.
Yeah.
He's like, finally, a real establishment that I can enjoy.
Yeah, that would be a good show. We should.
But that's what I hate about Bourdain's shows. Like, I hate this foodie culture that's so important. Where it's like, this is how you learn about other cultures. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's really not. Mm-hmm. This is how you just go out to eat. Yeah. I've eaten every food. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I've learned very little about Vietnamese culture.
Yeah. While
me and Stavros eat fucking pho.
Yeah.
We're not learning about Vietnamamese culture.
Well, also, I mean, like,
we're eating soup.
For even just like assuming that there's a value in learning about other cultures, right. Like, why does it require some sort of like consumption that makes you feel good?
Right. Of course.
I mean, it's like you should be able to just talk to other people.
Right. That's what human traffickers are like. They're like, we fuck kids all over Asia.
Yeah.
That's how I learn about Korean culture.
Gluttony is the only way.
Yeah. Stuff in your face. Mm-hmm. I love all the things people were like, somebody said about him. They were like, he showed that, that people he cared about dishwashers.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I mean, sure. But also, like, how?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said tip people. I agree.
Yeah.
You should tip people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Does anyone at the end of a restaurant, at the end of dinner, open the door and spit in the face of the dishwasher?
Yeah. But see, that's okay. I mean, it's like if you care about people, I mean, there's too much like emphasis on what's like an authentic display of like caring or empathy or whatever, and which is like most of the time it's bullshit.
Yeah,
which like is fine to call out, but if the thing you're doing has some sort of like demonstrable effect where it helps people,
right?
Then like shut the fuck up and don't criticize that,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this Lin-Manuel Miranda thing,
you stay put.
That's an embarrassment because he doesn't mean it.
You stay put, on that tweet. He's like, you stay put. Don't you hang yourself.
Right. Which again, if you were suicidal and you reached out to him, I doubt he would even fucking respond.
Yeah. Hey, Lynn, it's Tim.
Send him an email.
Send him an email.
Tell him you're going to kill yourself.
Say you'd like to meet for coffee.
Right.
And then pitch him a show.
Right. Pitch him another rap play called Bourdain.
Yeah, it's about Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
But he goes to restaurants and they rap to him as they serve him the food.
That's how he learns about black people is he goes to a rap-themed restaurant in the Congo.
It's amazing. They start rapping and start bringing him delicacies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like the same thing with this Trump thing. It's like, well, he only pardoned that woman to have a better record on pardoning nonviolent drug offenders than Obama. Good.
Right, who cares?
Good.
Right.
What the fuck do you give a shit?
Right. What does it matter?
Right.
Well, because I think something's always got to be wrong.
How about this?
Motive has to be wrong.
How about this? You're trying to shame people out of being racist by calling them literal human garbage. You're using the same fucking kind of social pressure on people you disagree with.
Yeah.
And it's like, isn't the end result to get them to at least fucking shudder their racism?
Right.
Well, you think you're going to make them not be racist?
Right.
Right. What does it fucking matter?
Right. Well, what do you care?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Right. And it's like there's almost more value placed on empty lip service than there is like something that has a real effect.
Does the generation under us go harder into the online world, or do you think they
would
retreat?
Probably be nihilists. I mean, I don't know where you go from here other than
black
just,
pill nihilists. Who cares what happens?
Yeah, probably a resurgence of that. Like,
God.
In fact, black pill probably, not like the
hardcore,
the carefree Gen Xer slacker nihilism.
Yeah, just
was kind of the ideal mode, really.
Well, in a system like ours, where so few people are really willing to do the work of changing it, the idea that that people being obsessed with the appearance they're changing it while achieving nothing is so ludicrous and enraging. Then you look at the 90s of slackers, just people stoned sitting on a couch. It's like, all right, this is almost easier to take than all of you thinking you're doing something by sitting on the couch now with a phone and tweeting.
Well, two teenagers just got arrested in I guess like near Syracuse or something, upstate New York or Western New York for taking a video of a mentally retarded kid pulling his pants all the way down to pee at the urinal at his school.
And by the way, if anyone can send money for the Luis Gomez, Dave Smith Freedom Fund, we would appreciate that.
And honestly, that story kind of gave me hope for the future. Because it's like, good. I guess kids are going to go back to just being
kids are still just having fun.
Honest about being pieces of shit.
Right.
Which everybody is.
Because they're kids.
I would much rather have, like the Rush Limbaugh thing. A naked, honest piece of shit where there's no attachment of some sort of moral righteousness.
No.
You know?
He would joke around. He'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, people say to me that I don't understand working people, that I don't hang out with it. I hang out. I was on Bill Parcells' jet. He has a job. I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was like he leaned in. It was just kind of like, so you're getting that perspective. Because my whole thing in the world was like, I loved talk radio as a kid. I would listen to everybody.
Yeah.
Just because they were all psychotic. I mean, Dr. Laura Schlesinger was a mentally enfeebled woman who would go.
You ever listen to Delilah?
Yes.
I fucking love Delilah.
Nobody better.
Dude, her fucking advice to people.
Oh, God.
I was raped by my boyfriend. Well, sometimes we hit bumps on the road. But you got to look at the silver lining to the bumps.
Right.
Like it's mixed metaphors.
And she would always play Celine Dion's Because You Loved Me, no matter what it was. Like the lady would be like, I just lost my son and I'm losing my house. And Delilah would be like, well, I have the one special song that makes it better.
Yeah.
This is Celine Dion's Because You Loved Me.
I live under a bridge and I've been drinking Beagle cum for 7 years because I lost my job during the recession.
You gave me wings and I could fly. You touched my hand, I could touch the sky. I lost my faith, you gave it back to me. It's like, but people like her because before pre-internet, the radio was the only way to get at sociopaths. Limbaugh, Bob Grant, just crotchety old guy who'd be like, get off my phone, you fake phony fraud. Michael Savage, Laura Schlesinger. And then obviously guys like Howard Stern and Owen, like that. I grew up in the thing of listening to all of those people all the time.